I want to refer the committee to page 5 on the documents presented for this nominee, on the part where we are talking about sources of income, and he's indicated his income of 2021 and also 2022. I want to refer to the 2022 income. Now, he's indicated that on number 5 that he worked in the office of the Deputy President as Chief of Staff in the year 2022 and earned a whopping 18,448,000 shillings. Chair, my question is, assuming he started working on the 1st of January, which is actually a holiday, then had to stop working on the 9th of August because that was the election date, then it means that he was earning on average 2,527,000 shillings per month. Now my question is it the official public wage bill that has been approved by SRC for the office of the Chief of Staff of the Deputy President, considering that the Deputy President's own salary is only 1.2 million per month?
Yes, Morgan.
Thank you, Chairman. Nominee, after water in life, electricity is next. So the ministry you're being voted for is one of the most important in the country, especially to the rural persons who are yet to see electricity. The unit for measuring supply of connectivity of electricity in the country are constituencies. And the problem we have is the disparity between some constituencies and others, such that I talk about my own constituency, which in 2017 was at 9.5% connectivity. In spite of every work I did in 5 years, we were able to move it up to a maximum of 30%. There are other constituencies, and I have data of that, who are now at 100%. My question to you is this: what are you going to do to reduce or remove the disparity between constituencies, whether rural or urban, as far as electricity supply is concerned? Because Kenyans out there are now waiting to be connected to the national grid.
Yes, Courage. Honorable Courage.
Waziri, mine will be on Kenya Power. Actually, the story of the energy sector starts and ends with Kenya Power and Lightning. In fact, nowadays in Kenya, there's a famous quote, kwamba when it rains, saile sisi tunatoa nguo, Kenya Power pia inaanoa wire. Power just goes off. It is something that you must find a way of fixing. And it goes beyond policies. There must be a deliberate, I think there's a deliberate attempt by some officers in Kenya Power to disallow connection of power. That is why they visit your house on a Friday, disconnect power so that they get something, and then again, when you reconnect, is when they can restore the supply. Number 2 is on revenue collection by Kenya Power and meter reading. You find Kenya Power staff having to dodge vicious dogs in people's compounds, yet you can actually use technology to do meter reading and give estimates on what should be built. Thank you.
Davis, can the answers be as brief as the questions?
I'll be brief, Chairman. Income, Chairman, as I declared, is accurate. In 2022, I earned 3 million between January and March from my previous sources, as indicated from 2021. And when I came to the office of the Deputy President as Chief of Staff, I've earned salaries for 5-6 months at a taxed net amount of about 764. I have been able to utilize a facility called a car grant, which is 10 million, which is available to that office as per the public service laid out regulations. And when you break down that 18 million, I did my arithmetic and it's accurate, Mr. Chairman. Yes, we have a gag grant for the job group that I hold in the office up to now. Chairman, George Murugara, disparity should be a thing of the past. As soon as George, you clear me, I'll address your constituency. But more importantly, Chairman, that's on a lighter note, the progression on really rural electrification was utilizing the laid out network and maximizing the use of transformers in terms of connectivity. And it progressively went into most of the rural areas. At about 70–80% today, when we do sit down to do the budget to address the constituencies where this disparity exists, and when we do get the approval of the House on that social expense to ensure that we power our homes, we should be able to move quickly from 30% to 70%, and maybe on the second year to 100%, for not just for George's constituency, but for all the other constituencies which have not been powered. But Mheshimiwa Nelson Koech, power goes off because our networks are very weak. When it rains, sometimes we have not maintained the networks and the trees come down on power lines. Some of the posts are rotten, and we really need to upgrade our network. So we'll again be sitting down with the entities, particularly Kenya Power and REA, to address the strengthening of the network so that every time there is wind before the rain, the network doesn't come down. We need a strong transmission and distribution network. We also, towards the strengthening of the network, need to address the vulnerability of abuse of the network by those guys who trade in scrap metal. But more importantly, we need to strengthen our network and address that challenge. Revenue, I'm told we are looking at today, most countries are looking at smart meters. We don't need anybody to come to your house to read the meters. In fact, smart meters, like I said, I'm in the T-sector chair, and our meters are read automatically, not because somebody has come, but remotely. So we can be able to, and we should be able to address that, Mheshimiwa Nelson Koech, as soon as I come in and we sit down with the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Davis. And now give to... Yes,
Owen. The question on water, Owen Baya, Mheshimiwa, is something that is very interesting. Even as we talk to the cost of power, we'll need... Water is a very interesting source of energy because there's something called potential energy. When something is up, when it comes down, the energy, it releases energy. So we'll be seeking to use storage technologies to be able to improve the power in our network or in our system, and we can be able to pump water back to the dam using energy at night when we don't need energy out of wind or solar during the day, so that we can reuse that water. The challenge of maybe harmonizing the sector is work very closely with WARMA to ensure that we do cooperate and see the meeting points on how much we should pay for the water we use to generate power, so that the water then given to the
Chairman, I think he didn't catch my question. That's why he skipped it. I asked why is the tariff of water higher than any other thing, especially when you're producing. You have waterworks in Sabaki. Kenya Power disconnects water because the water providers cannot meet the cost of production. When are we looking at a reduction of water production tariff in terms of electricity?